There, welcome to another episode of EVE Online News and Weather. I'm Mike Azariah, and we will try to keep this brief as usual. Sorry that this one's a little late getting out, but Easter came upon us, and Easter for my house is family time. Board games, big meals, too much chocolate. I managed to avoid some of the chocolate, but it didn't manage to avoid me. Uh, but while I was doing this over the weekend, I want to talk to you a little. I thought about Easter egg hunts. And in Eve right now is an event that has a lot of it has searching for the event sites for things to happen. And some people are complaining there's not enough event sites or I can't find any. And I think their issue is a lot like watching little kids do an Easter egg hunt outside. One kid yells, I found an egg, I found an egg. And everybody runs over and looks where they're looking, which is the least likely place to find another egg. Translating into Eve, if you go where all the other ships are, the odds of you finding something new and neat is much lower than if you go to the less trodden paths. One person said that they just skipped across Nullsec to a high-sec island and found that they were finishing things in jig time. You can bring up the map, F10 for those of you who are slightly newer to the game, and actually click on the little gear symbol at the top and set it to show how many pilots have been in there in the last 3 hours or in the last 24 hours. Use this information that's available to you to find places where a whole bunch of other kids aren't already gathering up the eggs. Go where everybody isn't. This is a good way to go hunting for SIGs, for event sites, for all sorts of things. Learn to use a map. It is a fantastic tool, and I highly recommend it to you. Speaking of tools, there are on a regular basis in the big organizations, the big corporations and alliances, occasionally their leaders will talk to their players. Seeing as I am not in a big organization or alliance, I am not privy to that kind of information. I know the goons call it a fireside chat. I think that nomenclature is actually spread to other people and other organizations. But it's where you say, this is where we are, this is where we're going. I find it really cool that we have games and organizations in the game big enough that the players themselves chat amongst themselves and say, this is our way forward. This is what we are doing. It's neat. And if you ever want to invite me to go to one of those, and have your Diplo send me an invite saying we're doing a fireside chat, get on this channel and I'll show up. I promise I am not a spy. I am not clever enough to be a spy, and I'm way too public to be secret. Let's see, where else? Just check my notes. Movement, the weather. I want to talk about this really fast. The one that struck me, and I gathered these numbers either early this morning or yesterday, I looked at movements within corporations and alliances, and Horde dropped 1,095 players in the past week. Amazingly enough, an organization called Heir to the Pleasure Hub gained 1,095 players in the past week. I do not know if they are allies or not, if this is just a administrative side shift or a lateral arabesque, or whether it's actually a whole bunch decided that's it, I'm taking my toys and going and playing on somebody else's ball field. If you do know what's going on, please feel free to let me know. Violence wise, the I was right. If you go back a few episodes, I said with the changes to how rewards are happening, I expected there to be a drop um, in the amount of corpses and wrecks in Witra. There are. But then all of a sudden, Stackmon became the most violent high sec system, and I went to Zkill, another out of game tool that is fantastic, and saw that it's a lot of Eve Uni blowing up each other in shuttles. So I guess Eve Uni is encouraging it just for the benefit of individuals rather than trying to force feed other people. But I'll put a link to the Zkill for Stackmon in the links down below, and you can take a look and see if you can translate it in a different way. Top three violent systems were Stackmon, Yudama, and Cheetah, the usual suspects. But when you see that Stackmon with all the deaths was mainly shuttles, there's something going on. That is not a real battle. Now, administrative wise, next week, if I get an episode out, it will be me in some foreign country. No, not Iceland. Much as I wish I could afford to go to Iceland and see the Fan Fest, I will be traveling to another foreign country. I'm not going to tell you where, but I expect if I do make a video, it will be on a beach and I will be drinking tequila. Too much of a hint? Look, you guys have yourselves a fantastic day. I'm having a lovely evening drinking my medicinal gin, and I hope to talk to you next week if I can get myself organized and be sober enough when it's time to make a thing. Maybe I'll make it early in the morning. Like I said, if there's information that you would like in Eve News and Weather that is not something that would require me to be a spy and a member of a corporate organization, but stuff you would like to see, put some comments down below. Let me know what you're looking for. If this is good enough, then just give me a attaboy Mike and I shall continue on, keep on keeping on. But until then, may you find your own medicine. May it be good for you, not bad. And I will talk to you soon.